Example 2, we're going to solve for x. So we have variables in these questions already. They're in various places throughout the equation. Almost always, we're going to convert it to exponential form as a strategy for solving if we've got a logarithm. So that's what we're going to look at doing in these questions. So let's start with A. We're going to solve for x. We're solving for the argument. Convert to exponential form. So your base number to the exponent. So 5 to the exponent negative 3 equals the argument, or x. You already have x isolated. Now you just need to evaluate. Remember, with the negative exponent, that's 1 over 5 cubed. So you get 1 over 125 is equal to x. Let's look at B. Put it in exponential form. So base number is 64. So 64 to the 2/3 is equal to x, your argument. X is already isolated. We're ready to evaluate. So remember, when you have an exponent that's a fraction, we call that a rational exponent. We're going to write it as a radical to help us evaluate. You wouldn't have a calculator for these questions. So you're going to cube root 64 and then square it. So remember that the denominator becomes the index and then the numerator becomes the exponent. And it's much easier to cube root it first because 64 squared without a calculator would be tough to do. So cube root of 64 is 4. And now we're going to square that. So we get 16 is equal to x. Let's look at the next one. X equals, or log x to the 8 equals 3/4. So we're going to put x to the 3/4 equals 8. So now x is not by itself. X has a exponent in it. So I want the exponent on x to be 1 because x to the 1 is just x. So to do that, you're going to take this to the exponent for 3 because then the 4's will cancel and the 3's will cancel. So we're going to use the reciprocal power. We don't do this often, so this may be one that you need to look back at when these questions come up. So if I do that here, of course, I have to do the same thing to this side. So that clears these off. So we get x is equal to 8 to the exponent 4/3. Now we can write that as a radical. So we're going to cube root 8, take it to the 4th power. So x is equal to 2 to the 4. X is equal to 16.